charge my devices. Yo, I get so frustrated with Alley Financial. I hate. It is a 2017 Silverado. I'm gonna let y'all. I just had this conversation with her.
You have a total amount of $1,301. $1.17. Can you pay that today?
No.
Okay, ma'am. So, how much can you pay today? If not
They told me that I could pay a bare minimum of $500 and I think $80 today.
I see. Yes, that's correct. So, are you going to pay that over the phone or through online?
Yes, but I'm trying to figure out if this is beneficial for me, because I do not get a check until September. The 1st of October is when I'll be able to cash the check. I get the check on September 21st, but it's going to take 7 days to clear the bank. So it's going to be around the 1st of October before I get paid. Do you see what I'm saying? Hello?
Okay, ma'am. So, I just want to confirm, ma'am, that the amount of $570.32 that you are supposed to pay, you won't be able to make it today, or you are able to make it today?
I'm asking...
For the payment of $570.
Sir, I'm asking you a question.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I just asked you... Am I going to be going through this next month after I make this payment? Because I do not get paid until the 1st of October. So that's still going to be 3 months behind. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, ma'am. I understand.
He doesn't. He doesn't understand.
So after this payment, you won't be able to make the payment until the 1st of October, or on the 1st of October, you're going to receive a check pay.
How many times have I said it? No, I get paid. I have a new job. Can I not refinance right now with my new paperwork for my new job? Since I have this payment today, can we not make something happen to where I don't have these problems next month? Because I have proof of income. And here's the thing. When I offer to show them paperwork, they don't want nothing. All they want is money. They don't want to help me. They don't want to assist me. They don't want to do their job. Nobody knows what's going on. I get different prices, times, and dates every time I talk to somebody. And I'm going to make the payment, and then 5 days from now, on the 6th, I'm going to owe another $700. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure this out. Y'all, it's infuriating dealing with people that don't want to do their job. It's like I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to make this payment and then y'all still going to come take it, because technically they can. It's already went to collections of paychecks, but nobody has offered to look at my paperwork and or help me with this issue. This is the third time I've talked to them today. After the 1st of October, but I do not get paid until September 21st, and it takes 7 days for a check to clear. I can't go to work with this stress on me. We need to figure this out. If y'all want money, wondering if I'm going to have my car repoed.
Okay, ma'am. So, since you're going to make a payment today,
that's what, 4th, 5th time?
Your days of delinquency on your account will be reduced down.
But I'll still be delinquent. I'll still be delinquent,
yes,
sir.
Yes, ma'am. So, after your payment has been posted on your account,
sorry, I had to hear.
You can ask, or you can actually ask after this call for the customer service department for them to assist you with the refinancing of the vehicle.
Yep. Right, but I would have to have money to refinance. So can you transfer me to the finance department, please, so that I can send them my paperwork and proof of income so that I can potentially refinance and get these payments lowered? If I need to extend the loan, that is not a problem. The problem is that I don't get paid until September 21st.
September 21st. Okay, ma'am. So, that's clear. So, for extension request, ma'am, you have to request for that 10 days before, or
So I can't refinance while my account. So I can't refinance while my account is in collections.
no, ma'am. You can actually ask for refinancing. So the process, you can know about that with the customer service department. They can assist you with that.
Okay,
And get
can you
this.
transfer me?
He gave me the number for the customer service department. I called it, and it's a Spanish-only line.
Or can I get a phone number?
Before I transfer you.
Before he transfers me, he's going to ask me for one more time.
Customer service department.
Thank
So
you.
here's the number.
Mm-hmm.
It is, are you ready, ma'am?
Yes.
It is 800-695-6505.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. So the other number is this one.
Uh-huh.
Call the number and see if you can talk to somebody in the finance department.
Okay, ma'am.
Bullshit.
So that's right. The customer service department is 800-695-6505. So, ma'am, before I let you go, may I know how are you going to pay the amount of $570.32? Or would it be over the phone?
Yes, it would, but I'm trying to.
Would you like me? Go ahead, ma'am. Sorry to cut you off.
I'm trying to prevent this from happening next month. So that's why I was trying to get this figured out. But it seems like y'all are going to take my money and then still come take my car. Why am I going to pay this money? This is a lot of money until I get my check. Until I get my check on September 21st, I am indigent. So this has already gone to collections.
Exactly, cat lady. Exactly.
Okay, ma'am.
Exactly, cat lady.
So, actually, ma'am, after...
So I'm going to pay the money, and then they're still going to come take the car. That's what I'm worried about, and they can't.
Have some amount that you can pay, usually lower than your regular car loan. You can request for a payment assistance on your account after your payment has been posted. So just make sure you have some amount within 10 days from the day of request for the extension for them to assist you. Okay?
So you're saying if I make a payment, then I can put in for an extension.
But I need more money for the extension.
And you have to have the payment amount that the extension is requiring you.
Right, so I would need more money to do the extension.
And we already tried that a month ago. Remember, I had to come up with $420. I couldn't do it. Went and stripped and put my life in danger, other people's lives in danger. Remember?
Okay.
I do.
All right. Well, I'm going to call the finance department. Thank you.
So I call the finance department, and it's not the finance department. Of course it's not, because nobody at this company knows how to do their damn job or what's going on. And it's been this way since I will never finance through these people again, because I'm sick of giving my money to non-American companies. That's a job that I could do and go above and beyond in, but they won't hire me because I'm a felon. We wouldn't be having these problems if I was working in there. I can promise you that. So I'm trying to get my stuff up. I'm going to call them and pay them. I do have enough money now. Somebody let me borrow the money. And that's another thing that stresses me out, is because I don't know what's going on. So here's the thing. I can't get my check unless I get a P.O. box. So, it's one of those things. It's like, I just want to scream. So somebody kindly let me borrow the additional $300 that I needed. And he's saying that I owe $580. If I pay that, my question was, are y'all still going to come take my car? And he can't even tell me yes or no. I don't understand how every time I call, oh, damn it. Oh, you know what? I got WhatsApp. Don't I? How do I call? No. I was going to call and see if we got a different damn price. I mean, every time I call, it's a different price, a different time, a different date. The only thing that they said was that I have to return the truck by this afternoon, but like, they're saying that it's been sent to collections. Well, if it's been sent to collections, hold on, let me just Google and ask this. Once it's been sent to collections, will your car still get repoed if you make a payment? Yes, a car can still be repossessed even if a payment is made after it's sent to collections. This is why I ask these questions. And you guys know that we can't trust these people because they lie. We've already called them in multiple lies. They also told us that this man called and was trying to relinquish rights to the vehicle for me. Like he was trying to get my vehicle took because I was behind. And, you know, I co-signed for him. And these people have been so difficult to work with. And this is 3 times. Now, technically this time I don't have as much proof of income as you would technically need to refinance a car. You're going to need 6 months to a year of records of your payment coming in, and I don't have that. However, I do have enough to show that I can make the payment when I'm saying that I can make the payment. And I haven't had these problems before now. So I don't understand why they're not. Well, they are trying to work with me, but are they trying to work with me or are they just trying to take my money? I'm liable to hand them the almost $600 payment, and then they still come take the vehicle because that's how these companies are. And they've already shown me that they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Everything was fine for the first 3 years that I made this truck payment, but this past 3 months since I've been unable to do it because of work, they've showed me that they will lie. And here's another thing I noticed that they do. They don't tell you stuff that you absolutely need to know. Like when I was asking about the refinancing, he waits and says, yeah, but you'll have to have money to do that. And then I said, well, my car has already gone to collections. And you hear how he's like, he didn't want to say, yeah, it has. Like he doesn't want me to know that, yeah, it's already went to collections. You see what I'm saying? They're just very sneaky. And it's not right for a financial institute to be that way. Now, it would be one thing if I'd been delinquent every single freaking 60 days or whatever, and that we had these problems, you know, for the past 3.5 years, but that's just not the case. And matter of fact, there's a payment history of every time I've made my payments, and I have that in my bank account, you know? So you can see that the payments come from me. You can see that the vehicle is insured by me. You can see that the vehicle is my home. But you're taking legal advice from a man that I'm claiming kidnapped me for 20 years. Like, you know, they just want their money. And, you know, it's crazy how they don't call him for the payment. They call me for the payment. But y'all are perfectly fine with moving in the shadows to try to fuck my life up to help him. So here's somebody on Reddit that said it says, I bought a car in 2020. Stopped making payments on it due to lack of finances. In 21, when I had the money to pay it again, I went and tried to pay it again, but the loan had been closed and sent to collections. I've never talked to the collections agency, and the last time I tried to contact me was 9 months ago. They didn't even come get his car. And then there's another Redditor underneath that says it's 2 years now, and I'm in the same boat. They don't want to repossess the car because it's broken down and not running. Well, mine is, and this one ain't got but 110,000 miles on it, so they could still, you know, take it from me and sell it to somebody else and get, you know, more than half of what I've already paid on it. Over 30 grand they could get for it. So it's just fucked up that I don't know the answers. You know, I talked to this guy on the phone today, the supervisor, because I couldn't get a clear answer this morning at the laundromat. I called and talked to the supervisor, and, you know, I don't trust these people. It's sad. It's sad that I can't trust these people. I want to make the payment, and then I'm scared that they're going to freaking, you know, take it. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. down to 520. So this has already affected my credit within a week of this happening, which definitely makes life harder. Definitely. Oh, y'all, and I don't know what I did to my shoulder, but it's bad. I might end up having to make a doctor's appointment over it. There's evidence that illegal immigration adversely affects American jobs. Gee, you think? President Trump, I saw him speak last night. He said that he believes there's over 20 million illegal immigrants in this country. That's how many we've had cross the border. Now, I don't know if that's true. We did the numbers last year, and we got up to 11 million. Now, I also told you guys that my prediction was this year's border numbers were going to be the highest in history, and that's proven to be correct. But of course, the Biden administration is overhearing that your job might be taken or your home. I mean, we already literally have a housing crisis, and then they leave the border open for 20 million, approximately, allegedly, new people to come through. Like, it's almost impossible to not see the writing on the wall. So I'm going to call them back in like 30 minutes when I get done with this, and then I'll tell you guys what happens. I just want in writing that they're not going to come take my car on the 2nd, because that's what I'm worried. Well, they can't do it Sunday, like I said. That it's not going to be a problem. That I'm not going to have to deal with this anymore until I get my check. That's all I want to hear. If they can promise me that or do something to refinance, then and suing somebody. Do you see what I'm saying? So, I'm literally in the financial decision right now. Do I want to spend every single penny on this and still potentially have my truck taken and be in a worse predicament? Or are they still going to take it regardless? That if that's the case, then I can go spend it on this, get my ducks in a row, and still have money until I go to court. I don't know what to do anymore. But, talking to them is like beating a dead horse. So, you can see why I get frustrated. It says, we're going to start with Donald Trump. He's been all in the media. He's been doing interviews with everybody. I love it. I love to see his authentic, wholesome, traditional side, It says, Donald Trump claims that 101% of new jobs are being taken by illegal immigrants. Now, this has been my experience. Every time I've went into a place of business that is a new business, and I'm talking like grand opening, they've been open for 2 or 3 months, it is all immigrants that are working for that business. Now, when I went back to dancing, every strip club that I've been to is practically overrun by immigrants. Now, when we were in South Carolina, we were working at Secrets and the Cheetah Club. 90% of the dancers that work at the Cheetah Club and Secrets of Charleston, 90% is Cuban. So we have Cuban immigrants, they're coming from all over the world. We've covered this too. Russia, Ukraine, Africa. We have a lot of Chinese. We have a lot of people from Mexico, people from Cuba. And we've had immigration from Cuba for years because the southern part of Florida is all immigrants. That's not the problem. The problem is that we have new businesses opening, and all of those jobs are being taken by immigrants. So yeah, the Biden administration added 100,000 and 113,000, 18,000 new jobs, but we've had millions of layoffs. Unemployment is spiking, and all of the new jobs that are opening, Donald Trump says 107% of them are being taken by undocumented illegal immigrants. Now, where is this from? This is from The Independent. I don't think I ever heard of this before, but that source, but we're going to read it. Donald Trump has widely claimed that 101% of new jobs have been taken by illegal immigrants. Trump made, it says, baseless claim at town hall event. So these people are not in support of this claim, apparently, but this has been my experience. So I'm going to read it because this is what I'm seeing when I go from northern Florida to Washington, D.C. That whole area, Georgia, South Carolina, all of it, honey, Virginia. Trump made the baseless claim in a town hall event on Thursday night in La Crosse, Wisconsin, after a woman in the crowd told him she was worried about illegal immigrants taking away job opportunities from Americans. Now, we're going to talk in a minute about how, in fact, this is true, but I'm going to finish this. The Republican presidential nominee responded, quote, "It's going to start with the black population. It already has. African Americans are losing their jobs, and I don't know if you heard the latest statistic that of the jobs that these people created, which is very little, every single job was taken, about 107% was taken by illegal immigrants." Now, this has been my experience when looking for a job. And, you know, here's the thing. I face extreme racism. Most white people nowadays have experienced this in some form. And so imagine little old me trying to go get a job somewhere where it's the majority is of another race, how they treat me. Now, I'm not saying all people, a matter of fact, most of the immigrants that I meet are very nice people, but there has been job opportunities, job interviews where I can tell that I am being discriminated against because I'm white, got, you know, sandy blonde hair and blue eyes. It's not right. It says, quote, "There's been no job creation by them. The jobs were filled by illegal immigrants." His statistic prompted the crowd to boo and cheer. I mean, you know. So then Trump outlined his plans for tackling immigration. Quote, "We're going to be closing the border, really closing it." And he said that it's going to be the largest deportation process ever in American history. You know, if we can get our jobs back, start working. Like, I was talking to a lady at the gym earlier. She said she's working 2 jobs now. And she said she works, you know, at the gym just to have money to be able to buy, you know, things or, you know, and I told her, I said, you know, it really sucks. I said, most people are working multiple jobs to survive. It shouldn't be like that. So this article is claiming, allegedly, that since January of 21, more than 15 million jobs have been created. Now, that was when Joe Biden took office. You guys, they were caught lying about everything. They've been busted lying about everything. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And, you know, and while it says, and while the population of unauthorized immigrants has risen in recent years, risen, it is not enough to take all of the jobs created during Biden's presidency. I don't know. They are, though. And so Donald Trump said that, you know, people were mad that he said during one of his presidential anti-immigration platform, he pitched it was during one of his presidential election campaign speeches. He sparked outrage for claiming that immigrants were taking away black jobs. But they are. But they're not. And see, this is... Poverty don't care if you're black, white, purple, green, blue. When bills are due, baby. And I've been poor my whole life. I've had moments of illusion of money, okay? When I was living in $1 million house and owning a business, I had the illusion of money, but that wasn't my money. And I've never lived comfortably. Never. I've never lived comfortably. I've never went, 6 months not stressing about how I'm going to pay this bill. And I think most of us currently are there. And the lower you go, the harder it is. It's the further you fall, the harder it is. At African American people in poverty, why he said this, but he was simply saying that if you love your job, you need to vote for me because I'm fighting for you to be able to have a job. If this continues, how many more immigrants can we take until no Americans are working? Like, he's trying to help you, and he cares about us, and he definitely cares about the small people who have been impoverished their whole lives. They struggle every day, and he wants us to succeed, you guys, but I think it's stupid that people get upset over, you know, I don't know, man. It's just stupid. Why are you going to get mad at him for trying to look out for you? Like, Trump has repeatedly claimed that his administration has done more for black workers than any other president, including achieving the lowest black unemployment rate and poverty rate while he was in office. What did that say? Hold on one second. But those record lows were eclipsed by figures during the Biden administration. See, this is what I'm saying. It just takes one woke journalist, you know. So let's talk about Americans who are actually seeing the consequences of this administration's actions. I clean homes and drive for DoorDash. Yes, undocumented immigrants are taking our jobs. Now, this was just posted from Newsweek on August 25th of 24. And this is somebody that works for DoorDash and cleans houses. And here's another problem with this. When these undocumented immigrants are getting paid under the table, they're also known to work for a cheaper rate. And so that incentivizes you is you don't get hired because you were asking for minimum wage, $7 an hour, which is still not enough. And they did it for $5. You see what I'm saying? But I was paying ideas for how to make my life easier. Everything is so hard right now. With grocery prices what they are, the cost of rent and gas, we struggle every month to cover all of our bills. And that's with taking on extra work, cleaning homes, and babysitting. I was especially eager to hear about immigration, which has had an impact on the industries I work in a big way. Unfortunately, there wasn't much in the way of policy that I heard that would help. Here's the thing. I do believe that Ms. Harris has said now she's going to fix the border issue. No. You had 4 years. And y'all made it worse. We can't trust these people. They've already proven themselves untrustworthy. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Voting them back in office, the same people, the same swamp, is not going to fix things. It's disappointing that a party says it's for the people has so little to offer us. Working class Americans have been a gold mine for America alive. Everyone seemed to workers. We work through the crisis while the upper class Americans sat at home safe and sound. We keep America going, and we are still doing it. But what thanks do we get? A wide open border and an influx of immigrants who came here illegally, who have streamed into our industries, lowering our wages and increasing competition for the industries we labor in, which we are already at the bottom of the wage spectrum. Why is it saying? It's saying that I don't have a connection. See if the Wi-Fi helps. Typically, the Wi-Fi makes it worse. Make it make sense. Typically, the Wi-Fi makes it skip even worse. I don't understand why when I join Wi-Fi, it messes it up, but... So it says that the industry, it says a wide open border and an influx of immigrants who came here illegally, who have streamed into our industries, lowering our wages and increasing competition for the industries we labor in, which we are already at the bottom of the pay spectrum. So it's saying minimum wage workers are already not making anything, and then you bring in a bunch of illegal immigrants who are working for cheaper. We're not going to have a job. And that's what this person is saying that they're dealing with. It says, I have seen undocumented immigrants using fraudulent credentials, AI generated credentials, and just stolen identities to get employed. So this person is saying that they're obtaining these jobs through false documentation. And we all know it's not hard to get a... What the frick? Y'all. We all know it's not hard to get a fake ID. Oh, there it is. So as far as I can tell, America has no policy or procedure to identify fraudulent credentials when it comes to the workplace. How is this possible? How can people come and take work from struggling Americans like that, and no one does anything about it? And actually, this administration incentivizes it. How is E-Verify not a part of every employer's onboard process? Now, we've talked about E-Verify before. They have passed laws in Florida. If you work in Florida and you have over, I think, 10 or 11 employees, you have to use an E-Verify system. Now, that system verifies that that person is an American citizen. But they only have to do this. They have over a certain amount of employees. And I think it's between 10 and 15, actually. 11. That's such a random number. So, yeah. One thing we DoorDashers and Uber Eats and other Uber drivers have been noticing is that undocumented immigrants on delivery apps. DoorDash requires your name, social security number, birth date, driver's license photo uploaded on the app so that they can run a background check on drivers. Given that we deliver to parks, schools, and people's homes, we've all seen accounts being approved with fraudulent credentials, AI-generated ones, and stolen identities. So they're saying that your Uber driver could be, potentially, an illegal immigrant that's wanted in freaking Venezuela. Now, you can look up on YouTube, illegal immigrants taking Uber drivers' jobs, and there's investigative journalists that have did reports on this. And when I applied for Uber, I remember my social security number. I remember giving them a copy of my passport, my driver's license, front and back. I don't remember. Oh, well, it says background check, so that's how they found my background. They ran a background. That sounds about right that I can remember. So it says other Uber drivers have noticed that there's illegal Uber drivers driving and that they've used fraudulent identification. Some of it's even AI generated. How can you AI generate fake identification? I don't know, but it's saying that these identities were stolen, some of them. We're not the only ones to notice. We hear it all the time from the business that we pick up from. And I was recently spoke to by a police officer doing a shift on school grounds who told me about 2 incidents with illegal DoorDash drivers using someone else's account. So just remember, you guys, when you're using these services, DoorDash and Uber Eats, just remember that Uber and DoorDash are not 100% sure that your DoorDash driver is even a U.S. citizen. And I don't want to say that these people would rob you or something, but just be careful. This is not just added competition to those of us already struggling to make ends meet. It's dangerous to anyone ordering from a delivery service and having it brought to their home or job. I wonder how much recon you can do as an Uber driver for other people to later go back and rob people. I bet you could find out a lot of information about specific people just being able to dash. But it's a case in the place. That's what they call it. I'm not saying these people, obviously if they're working DoorDash and to work, but there's always 1 or 2 bad apples that mess it up for everybody, So I'm just throwing stuff off of you. But it's also having a real quick impact on my income, which has significantly shrank over the last year. I used to be able to make $100 a day working 8 to 10 hours. Now it's down to $60. It sure feels like the additional competition is why I'm getting so many fewer orders. It's not just the delivery apps where it's happening. I'm having my own cleaning business. I have my own cleaning business, which has also become much harder to keep afloat because I charge a little more than an undocumented immigrant charges for the same service. Customers would rather allow an undocumented immigrant to take the job and pay $25 less, so they can keep the $25 in their pocket, while I charge that $25 because I pay my taxes at the end of the year. So you get what I'm saying? She's saying the undocumented immigrant is not going to pay taxes, so they don't have to worry about business expenses. They don't have to about, any of that stuff. And so they can charge a cheaper rate. And at the end of the day, people that are getting the service, they don't care if they're in it or not. And once again, I wonder how much casing you could do as a maid for a property, a house that you're cleaning. I clean houses for a living, so yeah. I lost several clients for this reason, and I have friends facing the same problems. When was this written? Did I say just 2-3 days ago? Yes, August 27th of this year. I really feel like we're starting to hear these stories now because the media has censored them from being known. They don't want us to know the truth about this immigration. They don't want us to know how it's going to impact us. They want us to just sit still up and not fight back. I'll be damned. I unfortunately didn't grow up with the option to go to college and get a degree. Same girl, boy, person. I didn't have skilled trades training available to me for free. I work as hard as I can in the industries open to me. And yet, for some reason, our government has decided that people like me, that our jobs aren't real jobs, and that it's okay to flood the market with a glut of illegal labor, driving down our wages and opportunities even further. You can look down on me and think that I'm beneath you. I don't care. I do what I have to do to take care of my family as I see fit. I will not feel bad or apologize, but I will not just sit back and give up. I will continue to fight for my children, my family, and our working class. Whew. Preach it, Ruby! Ruby Nicole Day is a 41-year-old married mother. She homeschools her sons and jobs for DoorDash. She lives in South Lebanon, Ohio. Girl, we love you, Ruby. Wishing you and your family and your sons and your marriage the best. Lord, preach, girl. Like now that Elon Musk and Russell Brand and all of these people are coming, Tucker Carlson, all of these people are like in their face now. I can't help but know all of these stories coming out about all of these issues now because they weren't out here last year. And matter of fact, if you said anything on any kind of social media platform, they take your platform away. For asking genuine questions because you have genuine concerns because their actions are affecting your life. So let's get into so this is from, let me get some water because I've got cotton mouth, y'all. We're going to have to get one off the back of the truck. Oh, sore. I didn't work out because I'm not feeling the best. Let's go ahead and grab a couple. Look at this guy being creepy. See? Waving at me. Like, y'all see what I'm talking about? I can't even step out for a second and grab a damn water without some old man driving super slow trying to look at my ass. Sir! Damn. I got to where I just look at people like they crazy. Because they are. All right. One of the most important reasons to limit immigration and enforce those limits is to protect the interests of American workers. There is evidence that illegal immigrants adversely impact the wages and employment of some American workers. One of the chief arguments for tolerating illegal immigration is that the low unemployment rate means that there's not enough workers. However, this ignores the dramatic long-term decline in the labor force participant. Sorry, y'all. Particularly among working age, less educated U.S.-born men. Those not in the labor force do not show up as unemployed because they are not actively looking for work. In total, there are somewhat 44 million U.S.-born 16 to 60-year-olds not in the labor workforce, nearly 10 million more than in the year 2000. Using large-scale illegal immigration to fill jobs may please employers, but doing so has allowed pockets to largely ignore the extremely troubling decline in participation. Research shows the fall off in participation contributes to profound social problems, from crime and welfare dependency to suicide and a light matter. Immigration, illegal immigration, affects us American workers in a lot of ways. Imagine working in a job for 60 years and then somebody just comes over the border and you're fired and laid off because Joe Schmo over here will work for a lesser price. And that's how these companies are. And they don't care about you. They don't care about your family. All they care about is money. And they will absolutely cutthroat you for a cheaper rate and overlook those, 60 years of hard work. What did I say? 60 years? Who works that long? 30 years? Whatever. Y'all know what I mean. It's just messed up, not fair. Now, this is actual, court papers. This is a illegal immigration. Where is this from? .gov. Of course it is. So, this looks pretty official. It says Subcommittee on Health, Employment, Labor, Pensions of the Education and Workforce Committee. Illegal immigration and the U.S. labor market. It says prepared testimony of Stephen A. Camara, Director of Research, Center for Illegal Immigration Studies. So this guy's pretty damn important. He knows his stuff. Sounds like it to me. .gov. I'll take it. I mean, once again, it's our government, but yeah. Seems to be a good government. The current surge of illegal immigration is unprecedented. Some 2.6 million aliens have been released into the country by the administration since January of 21. Now, this was written in last year, the end of last year of 23. So this doesn't even have the border numbers including this year. And this was written because we were already having issues back then with people being able to find work. As of 23, there had been 1.5 million gotaways, individuals observed entering illegal but not stopped. I would only assume that doing this border patrol day in, day out, and having to deal with criminals and people trafficking drugs and God, there's so much. I can only assume that you would just be over it a little bit and not be working as hard by now. How many years have we had this problem? Oh, my leg's going to sleep. It says visa overstays also hit a record in 2022. So that's talking about people that they gave a visa to and they were supposed to maybe fill out paperwork, I don't know. There's, you got to jump through their damn hoops. But they didn't. They didn't show up for court. They didn't do anything. So visa overstays hit a new record in 22. We primarily add that the illegal immigrant population grew to 12.6 million by May of this year. That was May of 23. 12.6 million by May of this year. Up 2.4 million since January of 21. Perhaps a million are now in the labor force. However, additional research is necessary to confirm these estimates. All prior research and the limited data on the current surge indicate that the overwhelmingly majority of illegal immigrants have modest education levels. Based on prior research, some 69% of adult illegal immigrants have no education beyond high school. 13% have some education and 18% have at least a bachelor's degree. Y'all got more fucking education than me, but y'all need... What? What? I thought you were coming here for a better life. You had a better life than me in Mexico. I've been dying back to school. I took 2 classes last semester because I can't function and take a full load of classes, you know? But these 18% coming over the border with damn bachelor degrees, now that was at least a bachelor degree. Due to their education levels, they are heavily concentrated in lower wage jobs, less skilled jobs, such as construction, labor, building, clean and maintenance, food service, preparation, groundskeeping, real estate, and food processing. All of that is what I qualify for. However, the vast majority of workers in these jobs are still the vast majority of workers in these jobs are still U.S. and born or legal immigrants. Now, this was written in 23. The notion that illegal immigrants only do jobs Americans don't want is false. Even in the 24 occupations where illegal immigrants are 15% or more workers, 5.7 million U.S.-born Americans are employed. Y'all, this is so confusing for me. Usually I have to like proofread stuff that's difficult like this. So it says the notion that illegal immigrants only do jobs is false. Even in the 24 occupations where illegal immigrants are 15% or more of all of the workers, 5.7 million U.S.-born jobs Americans are employed. Listen, when I don't understand something, I'm just going to skip over it. I hope you understand. The current surge of illegal immigration raises concerns about the impact on public safety, national security, public coffers, Social Security, schools, hospitals, rule of law. While these things are all certainly important, blah, 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 blah. Congress sets on illegal immigration and has allocated funds to enforce those limits for good reason. One of these reasons is to protect American workers, especially those Americans with relatively fewer years of schooling who are more likely to compete with illegal aliens. There is research on education, on the education level of illegal immigrants and the types of jobs they tend to do. This helps determine, to a large extent, their impact on the U.S. labor market, both in terms of the labor they provide to the employers and the potential impact they have on American workers. So it says from January 21 through January 23, there have been 7 million encounters. See, I don't understand this. One minute you say there's 12, then you say there's 7. Make up your damn mind. And I want to know, here it is. Total foreign-born population has grown dramatically since President Biden's election. A large share of the increase is due to ongoing border surge. Look at that. But they want us to believe that it's 7 million. Biden wins. Look at that. Trump's presidency. Biden's presidency. It's all an illusion. Pierre Olsting. Yes, it's all an illusion. They want you to work like a dog and be happy. And back in the day, people did work and they were happy. But, you know, they had the American dream back then. They could build a home. They could feed themselves. They didn't have to stress about bills. Their hair wasn't falling out and wasn't breaking out because they didn't have money to damn pay their bills. You know, it's different. You can work 60, 80 hours a week nowadays and still not have enough money to feed yourself. It should not be that way. Saying, however, it should be noted that our January of 21 estimate of 10 million represents a low point after COVID. These numbers, this is too much for me. I'm not that smart. We'll come back to that. Let's talk about some of the biggest difference. I'm all the way at the bottom. So it says a majority of Americans, this was written 3 years ago. A majority of Americans say that immigrants mostly fill jobs in the U.S. that citizens do not want. Now, this was during the COVID era. Americans generally agree that immigrants, whether undocumented or living legally in the country, mostly do not want to work jobs that U.S. citizens want, with the majority saying so across racial and ethnic groups and among both political parties. Well, how is that working out for you? You believe that? Because I don't. And this article, this is particularly true. So this is how we got here for sure, because these people are saying, no, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be an issue. When was this? 2020? Okay. It's not going to be an issue. They're not going to take your jobs. And most Americans agree that nobody's worried about it. I just find that interesting because here we are 3 years later and I can't find a job. And everywhere I go into, a lot of places have immigrants. Now, whether they're legal or not, I don't know. But I've noticed them taking jobs. And like I told you guys, I even had problems in the clubs. It says Hispanics, 88%, are most likely to say undocumented immigrants mostly fill jobs in the U.S. that U.S. citizens don't want, with more Hispanic immigrants than U.S. born Hispanics saying so, 94 to 82. I don't understand this one. I'm having a bad day, y'all. Let me just... Sorry, I'm reading this thing. It says both low and high skilled natives are affected by the influx of immigrants. But because a disproportionate percentage of immigrants have few skills, that's not true. We just learned that that's not true. 18% of them come through the damn border with apparently up to a bachelor's degree. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It might only be affecting low skill working positions now, but there's going to come a time where it's affecting people across the board, because a lot of these people are actually more educated than me. But they're coming here for a better life. But I can't go to school here because, you know, I got to pay bills every day. Oh, this is interesting. The typical high school dropout earns about $25,000 annually. According to the census data, immigrants admitted in the past 2 decades lacking a high school diploma have increased the size of low-skill workforce by roughly 25%. So this says, when we look at the overall value of immigration, there's one more complicating factor. Immigrants receive government assistance at a higher rates than natives. The higher cost of all the services provided to immigrants and the lower taxes they pay inevitably implies that on a year-to-year basis, immigration creates a fiasco hole of at least $50 billion, a burden that falls on the native people. Here's the House Committee on Budget. I want to see how much we spend on illegal immigration every year, how much we're spending. The illegal immigration to taxpayers. Now, this is from the budgethouse.gov. And this was written 24 this year. $42 billion in benefits. Cash, Medicaid, food, housing programs. A rough approximation due to limitations in the data. I wonder what we spent the year before that, though. Is it going up? I don't know. Let's go 2020, before Biden took office. No, it's tripled. Hold on. American Immigration Council. So it says, since the creation of the Department of Homeland Security in 2003, federal government has spent an estimated $409 billion on the agencies that carry out immigration and enforcement, and tens of billions more on border barriers and other immigration enforcement related infrastructure projects. As Congress continues to increase enforcement related funding to a new record high, it is important to review how much money has already been spent on these incentives and what outcomes have been produced. So it says immigration enforcement spending largely falls into two issue areas: border security and the interior enforcement. So the border security is going to be like the people that are border, and also any kind of barriers, money that's going to go towards building the wall, stuff like that. The interior enforcement is going to be ICE, CBP, DHS, Customs and Border Protection, DHS. So it says border spending including staff, resources needed for U.S. Customs Border Protection, an agency of DHS working at and between the United States ports of entry. Interior enforcement is primarily focused on staffing and resources for U.S. Immigration and Customs, ICE, also a part of DHS, to apprehend non-citizens in the interior of the country. So they're supposed to be out here actively searching for people that did not make it to these court appearances, and they're not. They're not. Oh, thanks for the sticker, bye. It's not fair, Adam. It's not fair at all. I mean, why didn't they have any of these programs for American citizens before the immigration problem started? Because we've always had a homeless problem. Always. We've always had people that gen out here. We've always had people out here like myself with mental health issues. So, you know, at the perfect time. At the perfect time. So it says currently ICE and CBP employ nearly 88,000 people. It says, additionally, the number of people working at ICE's enforcement and removal operations, the ERO, nearly tripled from 2003 to 2024. In fiasco year 2024, ICE was funded to employ 7,711 staff at ERO. So why ain't they doing their damn jobs? Well, nobody is. That's why. Nobody is. February of 2019, after the longest government shutdown in history of 35 days, Congress reached a deal with President Trump offering $1.375 billion for 55 miles of fencing along the Rio Grande Valley. The president expressed his dissatisfaction with this offer. Shortly after signing the bill, he declared a national emergency to fund his border wall through alternative means. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. In total, President Trump spent roughly $15 billion on borders during his 4 years in office. And then they didn't even finish it. They didn't even let him finish it. They didn't even finish it. Why was it never finished? Let's find out. We'll come back. Hold on. Put it in your pocket. Let's see what Google says when I ask it. Because remember, they're left-leaning woke. Why was the border never finished after Biden come into office? Oh, shit. Border wall. Border wall. Wall. So Biden said he'd stop building the border wall. This was in October of 23. This was written. It says, President Biden pledged to stop work on the border wall on the southern border, but this administration said it's moving forward on the peace. Well, that's not true because it was never finished. That's from NPR. Of course it is. God, I used to be obsessed with them. I used to listen to NPR and the BBC World News every single night when I was in prison. I was on that train. So here, so this was in January of 21. It says, Biden halts border wall building after Trump's final surge. In the days before Joe Biden became president, construction crews worked quickly to finish Donald Trump's wall at the iconic cross-border parking overlooking the Pacific Ocean, which then First Lady Pat Nixon inaugurated in 1971 as a symbol of internal friendship. So apparently this, wherever this was an important place. So Biden on Wednesday, now this was in 21, Biden on Wednesday ordered a pause on the wall construction within a week. One of the 17 executive orders issued on his first day in office. So in his first day of office, he stopped building the wall. Simple as that. I mean, you know, that's why. So they intentionally done this, you guys. They intentionally done this. You know, I really think that stealing the 2020 election was just a test run to see if they could. I think it was a test run, see if they could put this kind of plan into action. And they won the election. So they proceeded with this plan. I mean, the ultimate goal is about money, but I don't know, you know, this is crazy. They all need to be charged. All of them need to be charged. We can never allow this to happen to our country again. The order leaves projects throughout the border unfinished, but still under contract. Trump worked feverishly last year to build 450 miles, a goal he said he achieved 8 days before leaving office. So we already did all of this construction, started building it. I've seen the remnants of not finished, and it's literally just this huge metal gate that's just cut off. I mean, it's huge. It's like this, I can't even describe it, but it's huge. And there's a hole in it. There's a hole in the fence. The Trump administration said it had identified $15 billion to reach a total of 738 miles, but it's unclear how many of those additional miles are under contract and what cancellation fees Biden would face to fulfill his pledge not to build another foot. What? Was that part of his pledge? Y'all. So he said that before coming to office that he was going to stop construction on the wall. Did Biden promise to stop construction on the border wall in 2020? as part of his presidential I wonder if that was part of his presidential campaign back in 2020. Yeah. So it says, as a 20 presidential candidate, Joe Biden vowed that no more wall would be built along the U.S. southern border. So it was right in our fucking faces. They told us what they were going to do. They started making moves as soon as they got in the White House. And look at us now. Look at this economy. Scammers, scammers. They're all scammers. I told y'all. Damn. So it's just more evidence in my mind that they did it intentionally. All right, let's go back to talk about the cost of immigration. So it's very clear that Joe Biden actually used that in his campaign. I mean, how much more evidence do you need that they did this intentionally? If he cared about the American people, he would have finished the wall, kept us all safe. So it sounds like Trump wishing to come up. I wonder if he spent his own money. Did President Trump spend any of his own money on the border wall? Federal record, Joe, the price of... No, that's just the... I think any of his money probably went to it. But it does say that federal court records show Trump's... Here's the thing. It says, records show that Trump's border wall is costing taxpayers billions more than the initial contracts. Okay, well, how much does it cost us now? How much does it cost us now? Maybe if we would have just paid the damn money and put the wall up, we wouldn't be here. So it says, on the same day in May of 2019, the Army Corps of Engineers awarded a pair of contracts worth of $788 million to replace the 83 miles of fence along the southwest border. The projects were slated to be completed in January of 2020. 4 months into this year, however, the government increased the value of the contracts by more than $1 billion, without the benefit of competitive bidding designed to keep costs lower to taxpayers. Hell, it's going to be even more expensive now because the price of materials have skyrocketed. Within a year of the initial award, the value of the two contracts had more than tripled to over $3 billion, even though the length of fence the companies were building had only grown by 62% to 135 miles. The money is coming from the military countering narcotics funding. They probably find money on people who's trafficking drugs and they money and donate it to this. That's actually smart. I like that idea. And I'm just assuming on that, allegedly. I don't know what it's for. It's just what it sounds like to me. The contract spikes were dramatic, but not isolated. A federal review spending data shows that more than 200 contract modification... Hold on. This is not me then. A ProPublica Texas Tribune of federal spending data shows that more than 200 contract modifications at times awarded within two weeks or months after the original contracts, having the cost of the border wall project by billions of dollars since late 2010. This is particularly true this year, the run up to the next week's election. So this was before the 2020 election. The cost of the supplemental agreements and change orders alone, at least $2.9 billion, represents about a quarter of all the money awarded and more than what Congress originally appropriated for the wall construction in each of the last 3 years. Here's the thing though, if we weren't spending billions of dollars on illegal immigrants, we could finish this damn wall. So because we didn't have a wall, we got to spend more money. Story of my damn life, let me tell you. Story of my life. Because you were lacking a little bit of money then, it's going to cost you a whole lot of money then. There. You know what I mean? President Trump made construction of the border wall a signature during his 2016 campaign. And nobody listened. Claiming that his skills as a builder and a businessman would allow his administration to build the wall in a more cost-efficient way than his predecessors. And the predecessors didn't even want to do it. The first day in office, they're damn saying, no more wall. So I find it interesting that Kamala is over here saying, yes, we're going to shut the border now. Y'all believe that? You are having the wool pulled right over your eyes, baby. You know what he said? He said, you know, the wall is almost finished, he told the crowd. This was Donald Trump speaking to the public. You know, the wall is almost finished. And it says, you're not paying a damn cent the border wall. It was compliments of the federal government, and that's what it should be to keep us safe. Why is this money not coming from the Department of Homeland Security? Or, you know, why are we not budgeting for our safety? And I'm sure that we do, but this administration hasn't. This administration said, screw you and your family and your job and your career. It's just crazy. So I'm going to go back to this. It says, the United States currently roughly 735 miles of fencing along the southern border. Record levels of staff for ICE and CBP, as well as a fleet of drones, among other resources. Some of these resources have been spent on ill-convicted projects, such as the $1 billion attempt to construct the virtual fence along the southwest border, a project initiated in 2005 that was later scrapped for being ineffective and too costly. CBP announced a similar project in 2020 to install a total of 200 autonomous surveillance along remote areas of the southern border at a reported cost of several hundred million dollars. Several $100 million. So it says, even with record level spending on enforcement alone is not sufficient to address the challenges irregular migration brings. Illegal migration, okay? It also has significant consequences. According to the U.S. Border Patrol statistics, the southwest border witnessed more than 2 deaths per day in Fiasco 22. Jesus Christ. Them poor border agents have seen some stuff, y'all. That's what I was saying. It's going to get to the point where they just don't care. They just like, go, honey. Good luck. I hope my buddy don't shoot you from that tower over there. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally, they're witnessing dead bodies. Like, I mean, I knew it was, but Jesus, I didn't know that they were seeing 2 dead bodies a day. And that was in Fiasco year 22. Deaths have only increased since then, reaching record level highs in 23 and 24. All of these efforts have accumulated in the same name. All of these efforts have accumulated in the name of security, however, do not necessarily measure the border security properly or secure the border. Now, this is from that .gov. Hold on. No, this is from the American Immigration Council. Good stuff, you guys. Now, this was posted just in August. So, this is the closest honest reporting that I've seen. Critically, increasing in funding for immigration enforcement have significantly outpaced funding for the U.S. United States humanitarian protection and y'all, give me a second. When it's like too many words that I don't know how to correctly enunciate, that little old man that sits behind that desk in my brain, he's getting in his ladder and he's like bookshelves. Have I told you about the little man in my brain? Okay, so the person that keeps all memories is a little old man, and he's got white hair and he's got little glasses and he wears a little 3-piece suit and he has a little pocket watch, and he sits behind a brown wooden desk that has like gold interlay on it, and the whole room of my brain is nothing but big bookshelves, like from Beauty and the Beast, and he has to climb up on the little ladder and push his way to find the file, and then he'll pull the memory for me. Okay, he can't pull them quick enough sometimes. See, humanitarian and protection and adjudication, that's HP and A. He couldn't cross them fast enough. Okay. So it says, increases in funding for immigration enforcement have significantly outpaced funding for the United States humanitarian protection and education systems. In fiscal year 24, Congress provided $3.43 billion to immigration detention centers alone. Those billions of dollars could have went to damn secure the border, finished building the wall. I feel like these shorts, yeah, I'm gonna put this back. Weirdos on the internet, these pants are tight. And that's just on immigration centers, detention centers. That's prison, ICE holding facilities, $3.43 billion just to the detention centers. By contrast, Congress appropriated just $840 million for the entire immigration court system. So they're saying we spending billions, but Congress has only allocated, or they've only proportioned $840 million, and we're spending almost $3.5 billion. Crazy. They appropriated just $840 million for the entire immigration court system and funded $424 million to the entirety of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Refugee and Asylum Division. In other words, the United States spent nearly 3 times as much on immigration detention alone than it did on the entire adjudication system for the removal and asylum claims. So they're just incentivizing this shit. I mean, this consequently leads to skyrocketing case backlogs and years of delay. This is why we see these people being detained by ICE. They can sign themselves out on their own recognizance, and then they never show up to court. And that's the backlog and years of delay. They got to go find them. And at that point, the Biden administration says, screw it, they're here. Let's give them some money. I can tell you right now, if you go on vacation and you go through a toll in Florida and you rack up a toll fee and you forget to pay that toll fee, I can promise you that your license is going to be restricted because you didn't pay that toll fee. Your license is going to be revoked. And you're going to have a warrant for damn arrest over a toll fee because you are now riding around with no license. And if you get caught riding around with no license, you go into jail for driving with no license. And that's how easy it is to go to jail in the United States. But if you're an illegal immigrant, you can just climb over the border, baby. Commit a bunch of crimes. Go to jail. Get out on bond. And no bond, get out on no bond. You can yet again sign yourself out again and just do whatever you want. It just makes no sense. If it was us, we would be in jail. That's all I'm saying. If it was us, we would be in jail, honey. It says it is past the time for the United States to turn away from strictly focusing on enforcement and deterrence-based policies and instead focus more. Oh, God, hell no, never mind. I changed that. It says that we need to focus on a balanced approach that provides resources necessary to build a functional humanitarian protection system while balancing security interests. I'm going to go with no. I think we need to be strictly focusing on enforcing and deterring people from coming to the border and taking American jobs. Okay? Like, I'm looking at numbers. So it says, since the creation of DHS in 23, ICE has nearly tripled from $3.3 billion to $9.6 billion in fiscal year 24. Here's a chart. You can see how our money, our tax dollars are going to, this is where we started. And look at this. The Border Patrol budget. We just keep increasing that budget because we have more people than ever coming over that border. It's a potato. Potato? Potato. I'm not the Idaho potato. Y'all know what I just got a hankering for? Soul food. Hold on. How do you know which potato is a prostitute? It's the one that says Idaho. Y'all get it? Like the Idaho potatoes, you know? I knew that there was an Idaho potato joke, but I couldn't never remember it. So, hold on. How do you know which potato is a prostitute? It's the one that says Idaho. Idaho is a state that produces lots of potatoes. Ho is slang for prostitute. Idaho sounds like Idaho, I am the hoe. Do you get it? Never mind. It's corny. I just remembered that I used to know a joke that had something about potatoes, and that was it. All right, since the 2003, the budget of Customs Border Protection, which includes both the Border Patrol and operation at ports of entry, has also more than tripled, right from $5.9 billion in fiscal year 23 to a high of $19.6 billion in 24. When adjusted for inflation, that is an increase of 144%. We should have just built the damn wall. It says there's a serious enforcement funding mismatch, adjudication. Don't you be honking at me. Oh, y'all, I forgot to tell y'all, when I come out of the gym, the police that was fucking with me this morning was sitting in the parking lot searching some poor couple. They were in the back of a police car. I hope they can go to jail, but listen, if you got drugs on you, you're going to jail, honey. Like, the best thing to do is just don't do drugs. It's that simple. All your problems will disappear. It's a miracle. You've been given a gift, sobriety. Seriously, they had both of the couples out of the car. I feel like I saw one guy with his hands behind his back. And then when I come out of the gym, I actually come out of the gym and there was like 2 or 3 cops on a little red car, and I didn't even see it. I'm out there brushing my hair, putting hair oils in my hair, doing my makeup. I step out of the truck. I'm like brushing my hair on the ground so that I don't get hair everywhere. And I look up, and there's 3 cops surrounding this tiny little car, and they've got both the people out of the car. And I was like, oh, God. Honey, it looks like you're about to go to jail. Listen, I don't care if you're my enemy. I don't wish that shit on nobody unless it's going to get you clean. Sometimes people need jail, honey. Sometimes they need it. Sometimes they need it. I know that when I would go to jail, if I started withdrawing before I could make bond or something, or I did go to prison and I got clean in prison because through withdrawals for 3 months, all you can do when you get sober is fantasize about drugs. Really don't know how much cleaning them up and isolating them and throwing them in jail and may go through withdrawal helps, because in my experience, when I got clean in prison, I fantasized for 3 months about getting out to do drugs. So does it help or does it not? What the hell is that? What is wrong with people? Damn, bitch, you having a bad day? Freaking like slammed the door so hard I thought she's gonna flip the car in the middle of the McDonald's parking lot. Anyways, let's talk about this. There's a serious enforcement adjudication funding miss. Despite pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into immigration enforcement over the last 2 decades, Congress has often failed to provide similar funding infusions to the immigration court system. Taken together from 2003 through 24, Congress has spent $24 on ICE and Border Patrol for every $1 spent on the immigration court system. Over that 22 year time period, Congress spent $11.65 billion on the immigration courts, 3.5. It says 3.5 billion less than the Trump administrator spent on the border wall. Okay, but that's not the point. Construction expensive. They're trying to fight through the case that, you know, that we need to be open to the border being open. So it says since the creation of the Department of Homeland Security in 2003, an estimated $409 billion has been spent. That's a lot of money. We could have built the wall a couple times with that. It's a lot of information, you guys, and it's very difficult for me to learn when I'm under extreme amounts of stress. I need to call the freaking Alley Financial, I guess, and just make the damn payment and see what happens. I'm going to be upset if I make that payment and then I don't have money, you know, like, yeah, to eat. Like, you know, if I pay that bill and throw my money into it, if they still come take the truck, I'm not even going to have money to do any. At least if I didn't pay the payment and they come get the truck, I can get a P.O. box and I can sue those people to get more money. You see what I'm saying? That's the sad part about, like, literally living paycheck to paycheck, is that there's never enough time. And when you do get paid, it's not enough money. And then, so this lady, thank you so much. I think it's pronounced Reagan. Thank you so much, Reagan. And I will pay you back. And I was like, when you sent me the money, then I started stressing immediately. I'm like, yay, the money's here, but how am I going to get this money back to her? That was my first immediate thought. How am I going to get her back, you know? And it didn't even cross my mind to pay you on Cash App until I stressed myself out for 20 minutes trying to figure out how I would pay you back. I can send it through Cash App. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So stressful. In my experience, when I've been in the clubs, I've seen a huge surge of immigrants in the clubs, and it's definitely affected my money. And then I've talked to other girls in the clubs. I would ask them how they felt about all of these immigrants taking their jobs and their money in the club. And I told you guys, several of the girls, you know, they're not appreciative of it at all. They understand that these girls want to make money and that they need to make money just like them, but not fair. At the end of the day, it's not fair. But, you know, the government doesn't care about that. And people on my channel that have also dropped comments talking about how immigration is affecting their lives, you know. Oh, they did approve for California to be able to give home loans to illegal immigrants. They did approve that the other day. Yeah, so if you're an illegal immigrant, you can go to California and get a home loan up to $150,000 now. Interest-free. Sorry. Interest-free. That's the kicker. Elon Musk is so funny. Elon Musk went on Twitter, you know, his platform, X, and he said, quote, half of Earth should move to California given all the incentives to do so. He was just smart ass, and I love it. So the California Assembly gave final approval Wednesday to a bill that could help undocumented immigrants in California buy homes. It's intended for them. American citizens don't even qualify. So I find it funny the way they word things, you know. that could help undocumented immigrants. It's only for undocumented immigrants. Despite opposition from the Republicans who said that it would encourage more Mexican immigrants to cross the border. Assembly Bill 1840, which now goes to Governor Newsom's desk, would allow undocumented immigrants to apply alongside their qualified applicants for the California Dream All-Shared Appreciation Loan Program. The program offers no-interest loans of up to $150,000 to cover down payment fees. As the bill made its way through the state Senate and Assembly this week, lawmakers debated whether undocumented people, and specifically Mexican immigrants, should be eligible for the program that doesn't have enough money to meet the demand. According to the California Housing Finance Agents, no new applications are being accepted for the program currently because all of its funding has been allocated? Like it's already been dished out. Lord help me. Lord help me. I don't know how to speak English. Lord help me. For realsies. What it is that I talk so fast. I talk a lot. So I've just gotten used to tuning myself out. I need to do a skit of that because I'm telling you that sound was made for me, wasn't it? I talk a lot, so I've just gotten used to tuning myself out. So it says Republicans in California at the Assembly, they argued that this bill that the expansion would harm American taxpayer and it would take away loans from U.S. citizens, that it would harm taxpayers and take away perfectly good homes and loans from Americans. So the Republicans are over here trying to fight for y'all, but y'all voted some in, and so this is what y'all got. This is the byproduct of voting for the left. Quote, what is not right is you are going to overshadow many eligible people who really, 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 really are having difficulties themselves. And they happen to be documented. People who have followed all of the rules in life and are going to be displaced. So it sounds like Americans are going to face homelessness potential because of this. We already know that there's a housing shortage. And another Assembly member, Kate A. Sanchez, said that the program would encourage more illegal, not legal immigration to the state. And I agree. Now, if it was a program that, you know, some kind of home loan program just like this, but it was made for immigrants who have received American status, that would be different. I might not, you know, and why does there have to be a race on it? And here's the thing. Why is there a program specifically for non-Americans? Why? Why will we're in America? We're in America. This isn't rocket science. If you're handing out free stuff, more people are going to come. I agree. So they did approve it, is my point. And let's see if Utah did. I wonder how many states have this. It's called the Dream All Loan Program. Was launched last year. I can believe that loan up to $150,000, that would be enough for me to buy a home in North Carolina. It's crazy. What is it called? Dream for All. How many states have implemented the Dream for All program for immigrants? I think it's just California and Utah that's looking for it, but we talked about Utah. There's doing. So what is DREAM Act? The DREAM Act is a proposed legislation that would permanently protect certain immigrants who come here to the United States as children but are vulnerable to deportation. But they're still illegal immigrants. So it says the first of the Development, Relief, and Education for All Alien Minors, DREAM, Act was introduced in 2001. In part because of the publicity around the bill, young undocumented immigrants have been referred to as dreamers over the past 20 years. If they've been here for 20 years and they came with their parents, or they were born here, that's different. But why do we have a program that's specifically geared helping people of illegal status? I'm just saying that these funds could be used towards helping Americans. Our homeless, our veterans, our mentally unstable, yeah. So it says, while the various versions of the bill have contained some key differences, they all would have provided a pathway to legal status for undocumented people who came to this country as children. Y'all, Jesus Christ. This is what the left has been hard doing, putting in all these these are all versions of this, different versions of the DREAM Act currently before the 118th Congress. Let me see if I can read half of this. It says there are 3 versions. The DREAM Act of 23 was first introduced in February of 23 in the Senate by Senators Dick Durbin and Lindsey Graham. The 2 senators introduced nearly identical legislation in the previous 3 sessions of Congress. In the House, the American Dream Act promised of 23 was in June of 23 by Representative Sylvia Garcia, and the Dignity Act of 23 was introduced in May by Representative blah blah blah. All 3 bills would provide a path to citizenship for dreamers. So they are literally over here passing legislation to make it easy for people to become American citizens. Now, it's like I said, if it's one thing, if they were born here, they automatically get American citizenship if they were born here. But also, if they came over the border 20 years ago with their parents, why have they not gotten citizenship before now? Like, I don't understand, but it's just a mess. All of it's just a mess. I feel bad. I see both sides. But I am economically being affected by this, So, all 3 current versions of the DREAM Act would provide current, former, and future undocumented high school graduates and GED recipients with a path to U.S. citizenship through college, work, and armed services. This bill outlines a 3-step process summarized below. And so the first step is conditional permanent residence. So they have to live here. So you have to be, come to the United States as a child, has been admitted to or an institution of higher education, has graduated or obtained a GED, is currently enrolled in secondary school or a program assisting students to obtain high school diploma or GED, has not participated in the prosecution of another person, has not been convicted of certain crimes. Certain crimes. Number 2, lawful permanent residence. Anyone who can maintain CPR status could obtain permanent residence, a green card. So you have to graduate or a post-secondary credential from a career or technical school, military service, so they can join the military. It says the person completed at least 2 years of military service with honorable discharge. Now, I kind of agree with that. I mean, well, You can't be accepting people all over the world like that, though. We can't have Russian-born people working in our damn government, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know, y'all. This is a mess. I don't know how I feel about this. Work. So the person demonstrates employment over a period of 3 years and at least 75. Now, these are children. These are children that were brought over the border, and I agree with this, because children are innocent bystanders in the process, and actually they are the true victims in all of this. And so I kind of agree with this. I think that it's understanding that I think that we need a program like this. However, I don't agree with the home loan part. This is how you got your foot up. What you did after this means whether or not you get a home loan. You see what I'm saying? So I don't agree with the home loan part, but I do agree that the children that are innocent bystanders in this, that have been here for, it's like they could have been here for 20 years and still not be citizens. I do agree with this. Their parents are here, they're here, and they were children when they came over that border. And I mean less than 18 years of age. They were an innocent addition, innocently brought here. Not innocently, but they're innocent. So the number 3 step is naturalization after maintaining LPR status for 5 years. So they're saying they want these people to do this for 5 years. They want them to be gainfully employed, going to school, a graduate. That is one of the things is that they have to be in school and graduate. You have your GED. You have to graduate high school, and you have to be enrolled in secondary school, and you have to graduate from secondary school. I agree with this. I think this is great. It says work, and you have to have a total of 3 years work history at the same place, you know? So at least 75% of that time an individual had an authorization. So, and you can join the military. I think that this is great, but once again, not the home loan part. So it says over 1 million people would automatically, immediately be eligible. Look at this. So there are 3 different bills. So the 3 different bills. This is HR 16, and it says a path to citizenship for documented dream minor children who enter the U.S. Because of their parents. So all of these are talking about allowing, see, all 3 bills would provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And dreamers are children of illegal immigrants who brought them over the border innocently. I mean, they're the victims. And I agree with this, especially if they've been here for 20 years and they can't even find a job because they don't have status. You get what I'm saying? They don't have citizenship. I'm a felon, and that status hinders me, incapable of finding work. I can only imagine how this would impact your life, from you being able to find work or any of that. So let's look at these numbers. So it says that immediately eligible, it says almost 2 million people. And it says total potential. Well, total potential is almost 2 million, 1.7 million. It's for 3 sections. So each bill, so you would add those up. So that would be 2, 4, 6. That would 6 million people potentially eligible for citizenship, children who got brought over the border. So that's the DREAM Act, but that has nothing to do with home loans. And I think that it's only Utah and California that I got it on the first. Yay, I got it on the first try. One thing that I've noticed is that I'm getting better. Dream for all. I'm getting better at pronouncing words and reading. I've noticed that talking to you guys and doing the little talk at 2s, I'm learning a lot. But not only that, I'm being able to talk better and multitask better. Sometimes this Google stuff just not. says Utah permanent and non-resident aliens loans. People from all around the world choose to immigrate to the U.S. every year, and a sizable number of both documented and undocumented immigrants choose to settle in Utah. If you're immigrating, if you're an immigrant living in Utah, you might think that a homeship is a dream, and you won't be able to, a dream that you won't be able to. However, people with all types of immigration status can buy homes. This is from a mortgage company. They're already out here trying to get people in the door. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. The Migration Institute reports that out of the almost 90,000 foreign nationals without documentation living in Utah in 2019, 37% were homeowners. Wow. So they have 90,000 foreign undocumented people living in Utah, and in 2019 37% of those people that were undocumented were homeowners. It's just crazy. Research from Illinois Wesleyan University found that 36.16% of immigrants all in the U.S. were purchasing homes with mortgages, including both documented and undocumented immigrants. This data demonstrates that it is possible for you to purchase a home in Utah and possibly do so with a mortgage, even if you are not a U.S. citizen. Yeah, so... I hope things change, you guys. I hope they change, because I don't know if I can make it another 4 years. Like, it's crazy to think that this administration did this intentionally, but they absolutely did. They absolutely did. Let's go get some food. I'm starving. Y'all hungry? You want something? What you want, Buttercup? What you want? What you want, Buttercup? Oh, trying to charge my phone. Darn it. Oh. What the frick? Oh, I gotta call Allie. I gotta go, you guys. I gotta call Allie. I gotta call them and make that payment. I gotta go. I love y'all. We'll talk later. Bye.